closing down the building.
Down the line.
Oh.
Yeah, you can close that. Huh? Okay, so we are live on YouTube, just so you know.
Sorry.
We're live on YouTube.
Hi guys.
All right.
I'm okay. I've been sitting for a little while.
You want this one, Josh?
No, I'm okay. I'll stand for a little while.
Okay.
Get the energy up.
All right. So we will call the meeting to order. I'm Nicole Duffin, the president.
Carrie Daly, Director of Hospitality.
Amanda Gonsack, treasurer.
Alexis King, Secretary. Stacy.
I'm Josh, the VP of fundraising.
I'm Stacy.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Jen Bottoms. We're new at school.
Okay,
Lori Nichols. Yep, new here.
welcome. So we will first motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. You can take a second, look over them if you want. It's a very short meeting, but Alexis's notes are very comprehensive.
Sorry if they're really
Oh, that's
long.
okay.
I am like, this is very new to me, so
I don't remember things if I don't write them down.
oh
so.
my gosh.
Very detailed.
There you go.
There will be lots of people that really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Or drives them crazy.
So does anyone want a motion to approve?
I can.
Okay, Carrie.
And then
I'll
second.
it.
My report business from last year, we're still working on the shade structure. We're trying to refer to it more as an outdoor pavilion instead of a shade structure because it makes it sound not as nice and fancy as it's going to be. So we have the money set aside for that. I know Gina's been working with Mr. Martin to get that going. So we're at a point now where we know who is going to do it. And then we just want to put it for a vote to have 35,000 of our budget going to that outdoor classroom. And then we're going to propose that Eagle's Nest. We had already had a conversation before about it, but Eagle's Nest put 5,000 towards it since they'll get a lot of use out of it as well. So.
Yeah, and the dimensions of it are going to be basically the same dimensions as a classroom. So who knows how long all this will last, and so on nice days it can be utilized as an outdoor classroom.
And it'll have like a concrete pad, and it'll be all steel. So.
Yeah, we looked at the all steel versus wood. The all steel would be, barring major catastrophe, almost zero maintenance. Where the wood obviously would need to be treated every so many years and then replaced. Probably after we're all gone from Camden, but it would have to be replaced at some point. Where the steel wouldn't.
Mhm.
So a little bit of extra cost with the steel, but again, no maintenance. And then simple little things like, kids like to twirl around and grab things up there, so you're talking the splinters and little things like that.
So
No wood bees, all that good stuff.
do we want to approve?
I so motion.
Yeah.
Second. Okay. So 35,000 will go towards that, and then we will continue conversations with getting 5,000 from Eagle's Nest. Yes, and I think Gina told me that they would start on it on fall break.
Yeah, I think they
Hopefully.
were looking at doing a concrete pad to start with. They'd be able to do that possibly over fall break.
Okay.
But obviously up to engineers on, doing steel versus wood. Those things tie in differently. So whenever they pour the concrete, they'd be prepared for a steel structure and then kind of go from there. Yeah, that's the plan to start.
So volunteer and event rules for COVID. I just left this on there from last month because it's ever changing and it's important. So rules are still the same. we have to give a notice to the office if we're coming to volunteer, and everyone's got to have a background check on file. You have to sign in at the front office if you're volunteering for anything during the school day, and still no volunteering at lunchtime or in the classrooms.
Will there be another training? Because we got the one I was going to go to. I got
The
quarantined.
confidentiality training.
Yeah.
If you reach out to Miss Goodrich, Katrisha Goodrich, she can, there won't be another training, but she can send you what you can do. It's really easy. It's not that much. And then you have to fill out a form with the front office to get a background check on file.
Okay.
And then same thing for event rules. We're just kind of dealing with them as they happen. Rules are just going to look a little bit different depending on how things go. The planters for Eagle's Nest, that was approved and we're working on, we got to find some planters because Pat was not picky about, we're going to get the kids planters and put them outside, and then the Eagle's Nest kids are going to plant flowers and maintain them. So it makes it look a little nicer out there. Facebook Live for meetings. So we're currently using YouTube because Facebook Live is blocked with the network. Kevin is working on getting that changed because they have a handy dandy camera that you just like press a button and it streams over Facebook Live. He showed me how to use the camera and he's willing to let us use the camera once that can get it. We can have it. So, you know, bad news is we're at the mercy of the weather, but can get some canopies and hopefully get a lot of people to help out with cars. And so we have lots of cars for the kids to go to. So we'll start, now that we kind of know that that's where that's going to go, we can kind of start planning how that's going to go. We had a lot of interest on the forums for people that wanted to help out with trick or treat.
Well, I'm assuming that week after fall break that is close to Halloween.
The week, but Halloween's on
Next weekend, I think, is Halloween.
Halloween's on a Saturday, right?
Yes.
So we can pick a date. So fall break is the week of the 18th, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
If you look at the school calendar, Mr. Martin, just tell us that week what's
Yeah.
the best date.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, Red Ribbon Week is the week after fall break. So we got those activities going
Okay.
on during the week. I mean, they're
During
just
the
during
day.
school.
Sure.
okay.
In the past, you know, we've done it the week before fall break. And I'm sorry.
Walkathon is.
Yeah, we've done it the week
Yeah.
before. It's worked out. We're busy. I mean, we do have walkathon that week.
Mm-hmm.
The week after.
Is it usually a Friday or Saturday, or is it usually a
It's a
weeknight?
weeknight.
Week,
Okay.
yeah.
We did it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's usually so the teachers can stay after. They're not
Okay.
going to drop off.
So to answer your question, trick or treat, we used to do it in the school where they kind of trick or treated to each of the classrooms, but we're just going to be outside this year because of COVID.
Yeah, if
So-
you want to do the week after fall break, I don't really see any issues.
Did we tentatively want to say that Wednesday?
The 27th.
Yeah.
Have a backup date just in case.
In case it storms.
Yes.
Make backup date Thursday or Tuesday.
It won't matter to me. I'll make it.
Well, because the weather, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to back it up the day before.
Yeah.
So I would probably do
Oh, that's,
Thursday.
yeah.
Because like rain, you know,
Yeah.
until that
Good
morning.
point.
I mean, like, until
You're so
no, but
smart.
It's true.
To be fair,
Until that
because-
morning, I'm like, is it gonna rain? It was supposed to rain today, by
Yeah,
the
to be
way.
fair, we dodged, that's why I was so late, because I was dodging storms across all 6 counties for.
Yeah, it was
for
supposed to rain
soccer.
all day today.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain all day and be cooler, neither of which did I
No.
feel happy.
Is that an evening thing or an after school thing? What's the time frame? Like 46?
6:30.
6:30?
Because we have, that's kind of always, right? Because of
Yeah.
Eagles Nest.
Yeah, I mean, that's if we had it in the school, but since it's gonna be outside, however, I mean.
It
if you
gets
did
dark
early,
earlier.
There's gonna be kids. In the
You
building.
have all those parents picking up their kids too, so that can cause some.
Yeah.
Plus,
It's usually what, 6:30 to 8?
You have parents driving in from Louisville and other places too, that if you hold it in the air, they're probably not gonna get here.
We can't go any later because it'll get dark.
Well, it's not a large group, but I think that if it moves to Thursday, there's a cross-country practice that day. So,
Okay.
When's,
but it's 5:30 to like 6:30 or 7, so I don't think it would like.
Okay.
when's
It's
in
November.
November.
like,
The beginning of
yeah,
November.
give it a week of.
So we should
We should.
be okay.
Plus, I mean, there are
There are a lot of lights there.
lights
Yeah.
that are supposed to come up.
So hopefully, I mean, we'll start sending emails to teachers and get the teachers involved and see how many cars we can get. Maybe we can do it over in the parking lot over there. So, the virtual robot assembly. So this is something that the PTO put money on as a deposit 2 years ago.
Well, no,
Pre-COVID.
it was the year of COVID.
Right
So I
before
guess it
COVID.
would be
We put a deposit down, which is half of it, which was $450. $495. So basically, if we don't do it, we're going to lose our deposit. So we've talked to Mr. Martin and we've come up with a date. So it'll be November 15th. That's a school day. So this is an in-school activity. We don't need any kind of volunteers or anything like that. It's a company, like a mobile company that comes and does things, but they're also doing them virtual right now because of COVID. So ours is going to be virtual. It's like the scientist that talks about robotics, and it's interactive, so the kids can talk back to him. So they'll do up to 6 sessions in a day. So they're like 40-minute sessions. So we're gonna try to split it up to where each grade goes one at a time. We could stream the whole school at once, but then kids don't get to interact with them as much. So that's the plan for that. All about discount night, I wanted to throw out there. So I know in the past we've done like 3 skate nights about a year. So I called All About Kids, and they are willing. Their normal price for non-members for an open gym is $15. For members, it's $12 for 2 hours of basically just time to run around and play in the inflatables and run around. And so if we can get at least 50 kids that would go, they'll discount it to $8. If we get more, they'll discount it even more. So I thought that would be a good alternative to a skate night, just because All About Kids is a local business. And I don't know, we can talk as a PTO if we want to cover half of that, half that cost, or how we want to do that. But I didn't know if everyone, I know everyone likes skate nights, but I thought All About Kids might be another alternative. Not that we won't still have skate nights, but.
And would those be Camden kids in there?
Yes, it would be a Saturday evening, and it would just be Camden kids.
And their families.
Yes, and families, but it wouldn't be open to the public during that time. So it'd be like a 2-hour time frame that we'd be able to do that.
Is that the entire place, or just
It's the whole, it excludes swimming. It wouldn't be swimming.
For the basketball. the
It's open,
gymnastics
yeah,
area.
it's open gym and the bounce, like the inflatable section.
Okay.
So you have all the gymnastic sections and then the basketball courts. And then there's like, I don't know,
Yeah,
3 or
there's
4.
ropes and the pits.
Yeah, and they've got the foam pits
Foam pits,
and the trampolines and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't include swimming, because that means they have to have extra, because they only have their pool open when they're doing swim lessons. They'll just keep it open all the time. So we talked, I think Amanda, you and I talked about maybe doing that in like no-ish, like late, before Thanksgiving at some point.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
'cause
to
it'd
give
be a
enough
nice-
chance for current surge to maybe go away.
Right, and it'd be a
then-
nice indoor activity
Yes.
when the weather gets,
Before all the Christmas hubbub
yes,
starts taking over everyone's schedules.
Yeah. so. And then winter activity ideas, we're still open to ideas. I know in the past, we've done some kind of winter thing before, but then it got stopped for a little bit. So we had tossed around the idea of doing something like January, February-ish after the holidays have died down a little bit. So any ideas you all have for something like that, let us know. Obviously, it's going to depend on COVID and whether or not we can do something inside or outside. So it might depend on that situation, but.
Do you guys do movie nights?
We've done, so last year for the first time, we did the drive-in movie, where they rented out the
That
movie.
was fun. The
Oh,
kids
yeah.
loved that.
Yeah, so we are gonna plan on doing that again.
Oh,
in
I just
spring.
meant like at school.
Oh, at the school?
We would do it like in the gymnasium and put it up on the big screen and loudspeakers and do concessions, and they'd bring a blanket and hang out on the floor.
Have you all ever done it?
Many years ago.
Yeah, not in the last 10 years.
No, it was several years ago. We did it in the gym. It was okay for the first 30 minutes. And
Mm.
then,
Chaos, gotcha.
yeah, and then it was more behavior management.
Control, yep,
Yeah. So maybe brainstorm and see, if you have
Maybe that
ideas.
would be, come out of COVID.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if you're doing something all about kids, it's based on what their restrictions are. When you do things in the school,
Right.
it's based on our restrictions.
Yeah.
Right.
And their liability too.
Right.
Right.
And the drive-in was a hit last year, and it's
We definitely
outside,
plan on doing the drive-in
and
again.
The kids could run around, get that energy
Yeah.
out.
There's a limited amount of stuff we can do here because our insurance policy it restricts us from doing a whole lot of, because we have insurance as a PTO.
Mhm.
And part of that is events. Like if we wanted to have some big inflatable thing or something here, I have to call the insurance and get a rider policy for the day.
Oh.
It's not something I particularly support. It's been talked about in the past, and I'm like, guys, we don't want to do all that. I don't want a kid to get hurt anyway. So that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
And to Mr. Martin's point, if you come up with anything that's outside of the school that we can maybe have something at and maybe just decorate it or theme it
Mhm.
wintry, we would not be at the mercy of the school's restrictions versus.
Yeah, and it's one thing we've all learned in the last 2 years is trying to predict anything. It's
Mhm.
never goes well. What I hate to see is people putting a lot of work and planning into something that then can. And I'm going to guess that for quite a while, though, the school system is probably going to be a little stricter than private venues. That's my guess.
We keep it open activities. If we do All About Kids in November, we're planning in the spring to do drive-in movie.
Right.
I like activities, I like events, but as a parent, I also am like, I have to go do this again and again. Like
Mhm.
Right.
when you're competing for school versus all the other out of school things.
Right.
So maybe if we come up with an idea, run with it if it's
Right.
but maybe not stress too much.
Okay. Teacher preference forms are done and updated. Those are all on the website if you ever want to see what your teachers like and don't like. If you ever want to get them anything or for Teacher Appreciation Week, all that kind of stuff, they fill out a preference form at the beginning of the year.
That's not on their like classroom, like mine I don't think has a classroom website up, but what is that, where is that, what link is that?
It's the Camden Station PTO website.
It was on PTO.
It's right on the first page. It's like the middle of the wall. It says like for teacher preferences, click here.
Okay.
And it opens like an Excel file with all the teachers.
Nice.
The directory should be the last to put your information in was today. So Ann Woosley was working on that. So hopefully we'll be getting the final version of that soon. Spirit Wear update. I did talk to Doug with our shirt guy on Tuesday, and he said that Spirit Wear should be here within a couple of days. They were working on printing the last design. So hopefully that will be here soon. Blessings in a Backpack drop off is September 21st and 22nd this month, which is next week. So, and then I will hand it over to Amanda.
Okay, it's still early in the year. Okay, so fifth grade was able to actually raise some money at mostly because the kids bought them out of my trunk after the event, but we won't talk about that. Let's see. We got our Kroger donation, and then that's pretty much it. You see the walkathon amount is sitting at $15.37 so far, so we're already ahead of the game. Expenses, we're looking a back to school picnic. We stayed under budget because Fitz Freeze was very gracious in the amount that they charged us. I still think they got ripped off, but I'll take it. They're such a great company, so if you ever want to use them for your parties, I highly recommend them. And hospitality, Carrie's been doing a wonderful job getting our teachers taken care of. I think the bulk of that is from the right before school started, which she'll talk about that. Teacher funding, I live and breathe buying stuff for teachers all day. It's been super, super fun. Some of them know how to copy paste links, and that's been great. So, playground, that we talked about that last time, and the landscaping, we did all that mulch back there. So if you see that amount, we did go a little over budget trying to get the mulch, but I would rather go $25 over than not get what we need for that. I'm sure everybody else agrees with that. And that's it. That is it.
Okay. Walkathon 5th grade. Emily couldn't be here because she is at work, so she kind of is October 4th. And they are wanting to sell concessions at Trunk or Treat, however we do that. So we'll coordinate with them on how they can get that done. And then as for Walkathon, we had our kickoff today. I got a lot of cute pictures I'm going to post of the kids that I got today from Miss Wolf to post tonight. I saw pretty much everyone in yellow or gold.
A lot of people.
I'm so excited. When I was driving in carpool this morning and
Mhm.
all those kids were getting out, I was like,
Yep.
actually,
Yeah.
we're yellow.
Yeah, I saw Miss Chuck posted a picture of Michael's class. There was one kid who was wearing green. Everyone else was in yellow.
It's all I can do now. I'm like, very yellow hot. So, I'm with the Camden.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah, I was thinking.
the kickoff went good. I think everyone that I got feedback from on the video liked it. So they couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, thanks for editing
Kevin.
me though. I noticed quite a few edits in there.
You were a little long-winded.
Talked a little too much.
Talk to that kid's attention.
Oh, I know. I told you I said in my written. Those are good edits.
The Walkathon committee met on Monday. They are working on sponsors. The sponsorship forms went home in the envelope. We're working on donations for prizes. I know we decided the top 6 earners by grade. We're going to do some kind of a teacher experience with them. Ms. Corson has already offered McDonald's lunch with the winner and a friend. I think Miss Wolf talked about doing donuts with the librarians for the winner and a friend, that kind of thing. And then we'll have like the top 3 classes for participation, top 3 classes for earning. And then we'll have our top somewhere between 3 to 5 earners overall that will get the donated prizes, which sometimes is like a birthday party from All About Kids, or we got a 4-pack from Malibu Jack.
Yeah, that should be mailed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's kind of where we are on that. Each class is going to design their own banner to carry into the track and carry that in. We'll provide the supplies for either Miss Bond or Miss Common or the teachers to do it with the kids. But they'll each come in with a classroom banner in kind of the theme of the Olympics. And then I know Emily's kind of coordinating the volunteers leading up to Walkathon and then the day of Walkathon. The only way that might look a little bit different this year is I know that have walked the kids over have come into the school and then walk with the classes. And remember, what's the rule? Don't tip.
Don't tip.
Because
You
it
don't have
goes
to
to,
Yeah.
it doesn't go to us, it goes to 99
As you
Clubs.
get on there to donate, you give your amount, and then before it processes, it'll ask you, what would you like your tip amount to be? And it suggests donate, your tip. You can do other and hit 0. That money just goes to 99 Pledges. We already pay a certain amount for each transaction anyway, so you don't have to feel obligated to.
I was gonna say, if you're worried about the company surviving, they
You are
take their
very
share.
welcome to tip, but
Doing all
you-
right.
They're doing well. Yeah, they're doing okay. It's usually a sizable amount. I mean, I think it's less than a lot of your booster thons and stuff, but it's still there nonetheless.
So Amanda and
We'll
Carrie.
tip them if don't feel obligated.
So Amanda will handle the money part of it. We'll post instead of doing an in-person meter in the school just because of COVID and it being so difficult for everyone to get into the school right now, we have a digital meter that we're going to post like on our social media every day that kind of shows where we are. And we'll enlist Mr. Martin to announce where we are every day and get the kids pumped up.
Got it.
That definitely, when they go home talking about it, it makes them big.
So, and then I think that's all Emily had. So I will give it to Carrie for hospitality.
Hospitality's easy so far. Just past whenever Amanda was talking about budget, what we've spent so far, we did a pizza luncheon for the teachers as they were coming back into the building, getting ready for school. And then we did like an afternoon snack time. A few days later, we're doing, it's different in the past when we've been in person and allowed to be in the building, we would just pick days during school and do luncheons. Now we're trying to stick to work days and things when the kids aren't here. So Friday's a work day, we'll do lunch that day. There's a Sign Up Genius that's, I think, almost full for donations of desserts. And then we're gonna stock their workroom with snacks in October. So that's on there too, but we're doing Chick-fil-A nuggets always the number one listed meal for the year. So we're doing that with salad and then the desserts. They love it.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like people in the building, it's not like it was last year was
Yeah.
pretty much like eat. But it really, I mean, everybody has to get pre-approved or signed up to volunteer, but you know, we've accepted every single
Yeah.
one. It's just one of those things where we have to keep track of the number of people in the building.
Yeah.
And the main thing that we're trying to avoid is just the cafeteria lunch, you know, and then like having volunteers in the classroom full of kids.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's
Well, And food wise, we've been, because we normally set up out in the hallway. So we were like, we'll just try and not be here when there's lots
Yeah.
of kiddos walking by.
so. But like I said, I mean, we've approved everybody that's wanted to come in or has to volunteer, things like that. So
Okay.
don't want it to feel like it's
Yeah.
it. I mean, obviously last year was a different case, but so.
Bring more food.
It's that whole, oh yeah, the staff love that. But
They like when we make copies too, so anyway, I love making copies.
it's just the nightmare of contact tracing.
Yeah.
There's a positive case, so that's why the staying out of classrooms and out of lunchroom is the best. And us changing our lunch schedule knocked our quarantines down by a ton. So.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do everything we can to keep kids in school and staff here.
But I think hospitality wise too, we just try throughout the year to do something, whether it's, we've done room service bags where we take their order and deliver snacks or luncheons, just anything to kind of pump them up and make them feel like we do really appreciate and care about them, especially this year is great to do.
Yeah, they're loving it. It's I know it's challenging for families, but it's really challenging for staff too, doing all this. We're recreating meals all the time.
All right, Josh, fundraising.
Okay. We have 99. Our plea we sent out to some people who volunteered is, again, start turning in your pledges, start turning in your donations. We would like to pay for the pavilion, and we'd like to pay for other fun things, not just for, the kids that are here now, but the future kids, and kids that deserve to have as much as we can give them in Old County.
And I'll piggyback on Josh for you all and anyone who's watching. Because of COVID and because I work now, I can't stop by the school every day to get your money. So I have 48 hours when it's in my possession. So I'm going to do my best not to have money in my possession until I can go. So don't email and be like, you haven't cashed my check. You're going to have to give me a solid week cash checks. So I know it's walkathon season. I do get those emails regularly. So.
And we'll keep it secure.
Yes, we have a
Yeah.
safe. It
That's
will always
working.
be secure,
Perfect.
but once it's in my possession, it's going to the bank. But just don't expect me to run to the bank every day. That's been something I did in the past. I can't do it anymore. So
All right, Mr. Martin, what you got?
No, nothing beyond what I told you about with subs. I know we sent it out in a newsletter several times, but any of our parents, or if you know people that are like, I'd like to do something once in a while in the school team. Now, it's one of those things where you got know yourself, know if you can make good saying that for you guys' sake, not the kids. But if we have any community,
to say someone who doesn't work 5 days a week.
right?
But if I have a solid Monday, Wednesday, Friday, would that be something the county would be interested in?
The county is interested in
Anything?
anybody
Okay.
that is, and if you keep up on SB1 legislation, stuff like that, they've actually relaxed this year under emergency, relaxed the requirements, which I don't want you guys to, as parents, be like, what? They haven't relaxed any of the background checks or, there's the things that are most important to safety and security and things like that. None of those things are loosened. But as far as like requirements of your college education, stuff like that, it's been loosened up a little bit.
What are the requirements, do you know?
Who I'd have to reread what they've loosened that to, because I think it's down to 48 hours of college credit, but don't quote me on that. I'd have to look at it.
I remember it used to be a bachelor's degree, you know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure 48 hours is right, because someone
It was
posted it on our
70
PTO
something
page.
I thought it was
And I
associate's
remember
level, that's
that.
right, that's associate's level.
Yeah.
I've read the
Wasn't
entire
it
SB one. It's a whole lot of stuff.
64
It's a lot of legal jargon, but I think I remember the 48 hours.
Cliff
Okay.
notes version.
I'll put it,
Yeah,
that Mr.
that's
Martin
what I
said
needed.
for sure 48 hours.
But
I got
I
you.
just think
Okay.
it's some-
Email him if that's wrong.
I can't be a quarantine sub. So I just thought, well, I'm pretty
Well,
useless,
As we
but
talked about earlier, Mr. Martin was my kid's sub today, or one of them. Miss
Yeah.
Tyree was gone
I would
today.
love
Yes.
to sub.
Yeah.
I'll walk her tonight.
Tell me that today.
You weren't in, yeah.
It's clear
We
across
had
the
like 5, I
country.
guess.
Yes.
but Mr.
Not
Martin-
just in Oldham County, not just in Kentucky. It's clear across the country. Bus drivers and subs are at a major shortage. We're down. To give you an example, we were, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, we were like 300 subs in the list of the district. We're down to, I think it's 80 some active ones.
Oh, wow.
For the entire district. So yeah, every day that we have somebody out, our leadership team is piecemeal and putting together. And then when we have multiple people out, we're just using our entire staff and sometimes district personnel to come and sub. Which, everybody's doing their best when they're in there, but it's best for kids to have that solid person all day long, for that consistency. So
Well, Madeline had a great day with the bunch of people that she had, but it did sound like it was a lot of work to make it work. So.
I mean, everybody that was in there though they're all certified teachers, and actually Miss Clark, she has a student teacher who's doing her it's her big week of basically solo. Then Miss Clark was really freed up to go across the hall as another second grade teacher who didn't really have to look at the sub plans like I did.
Are you going to partner with places like U of L or Solomon that have teaching students or kids that are in that range that are looking for like, hey, this is a pretty good gig for times where we may not have class every day of the week?
Yeah, we partner with all them. For our open positions, actually, Ms. Corson called every university in Kentucky to try to see who they had getting ready to graduate in December for certain positions. So, we're pretty actively seeking that. But the sub thing, what a lot of people don't know is you can go in and say, and apply to be a sub and say, I only want to work at this school or these schools or this level. You could say, I only want to do middle schools. I'm not Catholic, but
I love middle school.
they're fun. They're fun, but but you can go in and say, oh, I can only work on Fridays. I can only work on Wednesdays, and you don't even have to put those parameters in. You just decline the jobs if you can't do it that day. Because, and obviously I haven't been a sub in Oldham County, but there's a system that contacts you however you prefer to be contacted, and then you can accept or decline jobs. And so you don't have to ever work unless you
I
want
was thinking
to.
about this when you went.
I just thought that because I would love to sub teach, but I already committed to the teaching position I have. And I thought, well, I can't do the quarantine substitutes. And I'm more than qualified. There's no, okay. well,
Yeah. So it really, and if you're feeling ambitious or you're like some extra money for the holidays or summer or vacation, you can work every day. You could work.
So they're not limiting the hours now.
You could work 170 instructional days in the year if you want to, because there's openings every day. So.
Wow. Wow.
Kids
So-
love me. I should totally.
So I don't know if anybody's watching this, listening, but if you know anybody at all that's again, you need to kind of want to do it and know how to kind of build a rapport and relationship with kids pretty quickly in the morning and get rolling. So.
And have we shared that link to the PTO page
To the PTO page.
so I can find the link easily?
Oh, it's on the Facebook page.
Yeah, that was a
And if you're really ambitious and want to drive a bus, then
Mhm.
transportation could use
You
it
don't want me
also.
to.
That's a dream, but I don't think y'all want me to drive.
I can barely drop them in the van.
I can sub, but you would not want me driving a bus.
No, I'd rather drive a bus, but I can't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to drive a bus.
I might be done that tonight.
It's interesting. For example, one of the schools in the district that is having to cover the least is Buckner, and they have I think there's 3 parents that, Liz Dan didn't talk into, but kind of reached out like this and got 3 solid parents that pretty much, now I think they're available every day, all of them. So that's really cut down on their open classroom.
On average, how many subs do you have how many subs do you need on average a day here?
Well, for example, today would have been just 1. And then some days, depending on, one of the issues too is our staff who have children that they've got to go pick up from the daycare that gets quarantined or something like that. And again, I mean, we kind of forget past COVID, people still get sick of other things. And so, on anywhere from 1 to 3 usually. But also there's certain what's called classified positions that they'll get aides for. Now, the district doesn't provide a sub for a kindergarten aide, but it will for an aide in our EBD unit or our FA unit or something like that. So now those are classified sub positions, so they pay a little less, but there's 2 different kinds of sub positions to take, but it's the same people that can take those. So depending on your interest, if there's certain students that you kind of have a passion you want to work for, we've got those positions open sometimes too. So. Yep.
I may apply. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree and I'm free most days, so
Yeah.
I could probably help out.
Yeah.
Kids
that's-
usually like me.
Well, I think that's
Kids
a
might think you're
misconception, and we probably need to communicate better. I don't think they communicate the whole you can work when you want to, because they want people to be available all the time. But the way principals are looking at it now, we're like, I mean, even if this person said, I only want to work Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we'd love to have you on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when we need you. So I talk to your neighborhood friends and let them know that, again, they need to know that we're going to be working with kids. So some people, that's not their thing, and that's fine too. Because if it's not your thing,
They don't want you.
trust me, well, you don't want to do it
Yes.
for your sake of coming
I
in.
have kids.
They'll gobble you.
My
up
little
anyway.
book would be like, why did you fall?
I know, well, that's
So she worked elementary school, now you work.
Yeah, Aria, she wouldn't want me subbing in her class.
I would highly doubt that
You're
they
like,
would.
what are you doing here?
Well,
Go
you-
away.
Do you let them?
I mean, you can, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Your
mine would
child would
not,
know what to
she
do.
would not want me in her
Yeah.
class. She would be
My
like,
one
what
would
are
love
you
it, like,
doing
it
here? Go
He
away.
would leave.
That's good.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't work all day. He'd just look at me.
Yeah, boundaries get kind of tough in those situations. So it's the same reason because we have teachers whose kids go to school here. They've never been in their parents' classroom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't do the preschool, huh? I couldn't. It was better there too.
Right. Well, does anyone have any new business?
Have we scheduled skate nights?
We have not. So I know we talked about doing the Halloween one, but I also know we have walkathon and trick or treat.
So I know because of COVID, we are always living by the seat of our pants, but I do think it's helpful if we can get a calendar of events.
Okay.
Get as much on there as possible so people can get it on their calendars and plan around it. The last year and a half, we've had to just be like, oh, we're having an event in 2 weeks because that's just the way it's been. But I think you get better turnout when, like, I guess if we're gonna have a skate party in April.
And I have a calendar that I put in the handbook, and I thought about putting that out, but then I was like, well,
Everything always changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think it would just have to be out as, obviously, this is tentative.
this
Yeah.
could change at
Yeah.
any
This
moment.
is what we have.
I want to increase in attendance again. So
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. I think that's best.
And I
love that
did
Halloween
put-
skate party, but I'm wondering with
Yeah.
all the things.
oh yeah, I say we just do.
Well, and I felt like everyone really wanted trick or treat
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
versus a skate party.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So
I
that's why I was
think
like,
they
oh,
would
3
like that
things
better,
in one
Yeah.
month. And I did put all the meetings on the website. So I'm a big fan of planning ahead. I plan
Yeah.
way ahead in my personal life. So
Yeah.
I'm all about calendar events. 'Cause
And the kids, they're gonna love the trunk or treat. I have lots of trunk or treat ideas.
And that Friday, part of Red Ribbon Week, Friday is dress up as your favorite book character, but that'll be different than
Yeah.
trunk or treat because
Right.
we obviously are like, this is a book character, nothing scary, nothing that, and the trunk or treat will be whatever.
Whatever you want.
PTO puts parameters on it, right?
mean, we could definitely do a skate. Now, if we wanted to maybe not do, unless someone had a great winter activity idea, and maybe just do a skate party instead, you know, in January, February, we could do that. So,
I think looking ahead, if we think movie towards the end of the year,
yeah,
and then just plug those other maybe 2 skate nights
in there.
about the same distance apart.
Yeah.
Between January and the end of
Yeah, because we'll have the talent show too somewhere in there.
Yes.
Just something to think about.
Okay.
I think work backwards and just get it on the calendar.
Right. And then I know we did you guys do a lot of family food nights? I know they don't bring in a lot of money.
They don't, and we don't even have, we usually have somebody who coordinates that, so it takes the burden completely off of you.
Okay.
If you're going to do it, delegate that. That is a great working mom activity, because
And it
it
doesn't
doesn't require.
cost to do
physical
anything, so I don't think,
Or
as
that.
long as there's
You should
nothing
do
else actively happening that same day,
Right.
it's not an issue to schedule it.
Right.
And then whoever wants to go, can
Right,
go, and if
yeah.
you don't, you don't.
But I would assume people like Gustavos or other places like that would be happy to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And now that
Yeah.
Currently
We all
dining
eat
in
Gustavos
and
no matter what we all say.
carry out is,
Once we did it at McDonald's, we're just,
Hectic.
I didn't go through the drive-through.
It was
Because the first
hectic.
couple times I'm like, "Goo." It was like, they'd be on, we'd be on capacity. It was great, though.
And it's not a
But that's
COVID-friendly
because-
activity.
that's because the teachers,
They work. the
That's
cashier.
true, yeah, the teachers working the cash.
It was.
That was-
That's funny, but
insane.
yeah.
that was definitely the.
And they
draw.
have
Like, if you
reduced
could
their
buy your
seating
Happy
capacity
Meal
again even before.
from-
I think they're actually kicking them all out at most McDonald's actually.
It's a very small McDonald's now.
Indoor
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But yes, it doesn't bring in enough money to make it a.
That's what I kind of figured.
I don't think it's a.
But it's always a good excuse to eat out.
That's all it is.
Well, I don't need much.
Also, like they were saying, you said it's not a very COVID friendly activity.
No, it's not. But I mean, the nice thing is it's an optional, so you can just choose not to.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
pick it up.
Any of the places that are to go.
Yeah.
I don't think it's essential for this year, but.
Oh, yeah. He's an idea.
All right. If that's it, does anyone want a motion to adjourn?
So motion.
Second.
I second.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. I don't know if anyone's here, but.
So just asking, if I applied for a substitute position